Farmer Ross Marcelino just wanted to grow zucchinis and tomatoes, but he says the supermarkets were paying him less than it cost to produce them. So
prices rise for domestic as well. So this is producer level. Will it be passed on to the consumer? Sure. Unclear yet, but we'll know pretty quickly.
That is linked to romaine lettuce. The bacteria can't be washed away. Researchers found it embedded in the romaine lettuce leaves.
It's not just the romaine, it's also the salad mix.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says that at least 32 people in 11 different states have been sickened by a dangerous type of E. coli.
Fresh or frozen, it sounds like a simple choice. But here's the tactical truth. Some frozen vegetables can actually hold more nutrients than the so-called fresh ones sitting in your fridge for days. Imagine spinach. Fresh, it bleeds out vitamin C by the hour. Frozen, it holds the line for months. The debate isn't freshness versus frost, it's timing, logistics, and hidden sacrifices. So the question is, when you toss those frozen peas into the pan, are you gaining ground on health, or trading away texture and taste for convenience? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. The freezer was once hailed as a battlefield victory for the kitchen. It gave households the ability to stockpile, to resist scarcity, to fight hunger when fields were bare. It was sold as liberation from the calendar. But with every new weapon, there is a compromise hidden beneath the steel. This is the story of a technology that claimed to guard nutrients and stretch supply, while at the same time reshaping how families thought about food itself. The rapid freeze method turned vegetables from fragile, perishable cargo into rations that could last months without decay.
However, having a salad with your Thanksgiving dinner is still a holiday staple in many households. But
now a plant in Spain starts to slow down. It's coming to the end of its cycle, but we can't pick up the momentum because we're running late. That's where we are with it.
Big move, 3 things happening here: weather and drought. So you've got supply issues, worker shortages, and you've got farmers saying that there are fear on some of these farms.
You know, they're at the start of the food chain, but we're at the end of the food chain by just the returns that farmers get up here, whether it's zucchinis, tomatoes and stone fruit, and across the board, you know, getting $1.60 a kilo for an item.
It sounded like an unshakable advantage. Yet, as with logistics on any front, strength came with weak points that most civilians never saw. When vegetables freeze, water inside their cells expands and pierces the delicate walls. That rupture is not visible at the surface, but you notice it when texture collapses. A pea can hold formation, its round shape holding steady even after thaw. A leaf of spinach, soaked through with thin walls, cannot. Once thawed, it folds in on itself, limp and broken, a soldier without armor. The irony here is sharp. While spinach loses form, it guards function. Vitamin C in those leaves often outlasts the same vitamin in so-called fresh spinach kept in a fridge for a few days. The frozen may look weaker but holds its nutritional line better than the fresh that surrendered over time. For you, the eater, that means trusting appearance can be a tactical error. But then comes the quiet assault before freezing even takes place. To preserve color and taste, vegetables are blanched, plunged into boiling water or steam for brief moments. That single step strips away part of the arsenal: fragile B vitamins and extra vitamin C, flushed out before freezing locks in the rest. So a bag labeled frozen vegetables does not carry exactly what the field harvest contained. Minerals and fiber remain steady, the heavier weapons that stand across months of storage. Yet the lighter troops, heat-sensitive micronutrients, take casualties. You cannot see their loss on the package, but the attrition already occurred before the ice even formed. Reading the label is like reading a field report. The unit is present, but part of its strength has been thinned. Meanwhile, industrial food science made another move. Many frozen packs are not plain vegetables at all but coated in sauces, creams, and sodium-heavy blends. Marketed as convenience, they turn a healthy asset into a loaded supply crate. Easy to heat, easy to serve, but burdened with additives that sabotage the mission of eating clean.
Stopped growing veggies and he started demanding change with a passionate message for the supermarkets and the government. I spoke to Ross a little early.
Skyrocketed, nearly 40% in July compared to a year ago. And that's, of course, what grocery stores pay.
Speaking of, they grow millions of tomatoes and peppers at this greenhouse in Essex every year. The problem is, you're a little bit behind your growing schedule than usual, aren't you?
Yes, we are this year, unfortunately, because we planted late.
That action, the NFU and Jimmy tells me, includes helping growers with energy costs to at least try and make sure customers see greens like this, not this. Jay Akbar, 5 News.
If you march in blind, you take on hidden enemies alongside the allies you came for. For centuries, harvest bound people to seasons. The taste of fresh corn marked late summer, peas signaled spring. Freezing broke that cadence. It gave peas, corn, or green beans the permanence of rations in a depot. Like an army that cracked the code of year-round supply, families enjoyed abundance. Yet something was lost, the rhythm of waiting, celebrating, and moving forward with nature. That cultural link fractured under the weight of perpetual access. So what looked on paper like a flawless victory actually redrew the map of expectations. Frozen vegetables no longer seemed extraordinary, they became the baseline of convenience. Fresh produce, once the only standard, now competed against a processed rival that lasted longer, traveled further, and stayed cheap. The battle shifted away from survival to something more subtle: how a consumer chooses between fresh, frozen, and prepared. Think of it as a new kind of front line. You may not face artillery or tanks, but you fight through marketing, fine print, and chemistry that occurred somewhere far from your sight. The war is not about whether frozen food is safe, it is about how you select and deploy it once it enters your house. The freezer gave a promise of stability. But the price hides in the details: texture lost to ruptured cells, nutrients clipped by blanching, labels that smuggle in salt and sauces. For you, victory comes from recognizing these compromises and adjusting your tactics accordingly. This isn't just a kitchen story, it's a strategy story. Just as militaries adapt to the unseen cost of supply chains, you must adapt to the hidden price tags that lie inside your freezer. Frozen vegetables are not allies to worship or enemies to fear. They are rations, useful, durable, but burdened with flaws. Their strength lies in long storage and preserved nutrients. Their weakness hides in sauces, salt, and compromised texture. Your tactical edge comes from control. Choose plain, unsauced packs, and you deploy food that can outlast the fragile promise of produce sitting in your fridge for days. That is how you avoid losses. Victory belongs to the disciplined. Subscribe and join a community that cuts through the noise to see what really holds the line in modern life and modern conflict.